Hello world! Welcome to this first video about Raspberry Pi using on the Mac and OctoPrint. The big difference is that this video is for people like me who have absolutely no clue about Raspberry Pi and or Linux. But still it is not so difficult and it's actually quite easy to get it all working. So let's get started. Okay, but first let's explain what is a Raspberry Pi. A Raspberry Pi is a single board computer, very basic, very small, and it is capable of really great things. It was developed by the University of Cambridge for educational purposes, and it's really a great machine. Of course, it runs on Linux, which is freeware, so it's a free operating system. There are no moving parts. There's an internal memory at the moment up to 8 gigabytes, but usually you can go for less than that. It has no storage, so there is no hard disk or flash memory, so your storage is done by an SD card. When you run, after your initial startup and activation of the program, you don't need a keyboard, you don't need a mouse, so you just start up and you connect it with your own computer over your private network, and that works really perfect with terminal. We all can show you how to do that. Is there a downside? Yes, there is a downside for normal work and also for startup. It is slow, and it's really slow, but you get used to it and you start to understand and appreciate it. So beside of the slowness, it's good. So let's dive into it and see how we can get from nothing to at least working with the Raspberry Pi. And then we're gonna install also OctoPrint. And then another video that's not done yet will be how to connect OctoPrint over a Mac to your printer. Okay, let's dive into it. Here you see the Raspberry Pi next to my mouse, just to compare the size. Here we have the RJ45 network connector. You get 4 USB ports. You get an audio out, HDMI connector for monitor, micro USB power supply, a Pi camera, and on the other side the micro SD slot for your memory. Okay, now we go install Raspberry on an SD card. So first you need to have the Raspberry Pi manager. You can download it from their website, and of course we'll put the link in the description below. You download the OS version and you just wait for it to get downloaded. It's not a very big program, so it should be quick. Once you have downloaded the program, you will install it. I will install it now on my desktop because I already have the version on my computer. Take a standard SD card, everything from 16 to 128 GB will work, and format it at standard FAT32. Formatting a disk or an SD card in Apple is very straightforward. Now you can open the Raspberry Pi imager. You select your operating system, and there you have a couple of choices. I usually take the Pi OS Legacy with all the security updates and the desktop. Select the location. Then you also can select the cogwheel, and there you have some additional information like Wi-Fi network or other settings. If you have made any changes, save it. and then select Write. Accept the changes, give your password if required, and then it will download Linux and install it. This will take a while, so get a coffee. As soon as it is downloaded and installed, it will automatically start to verify the installation. Now you have successfully installed Linux. Now it's time to install OctoPrint. This is also on the same disk image. And install the same way as you did with Linux. You will get a warning about overwriting in the data on the disk, but you can ignore, just say yes. And that's it. You're done on your Mac. Now you can go to your Raspberry because we are finished. Remove the card, please. When you have connected your Raspberry to a monitor, this is the standard screen you get. So everything is in the prompt. For the first setup, you actually need a keyboard. So it's necessary to connect the keyboard to your Raspberry so you can log in and fill in your password. If you make a clean install of the Raspberry software, your standard password normally is Pi and your password is Raspberry, no capitals. But if you have used the Raspberry Imager, you already have set your password and your login. Now open the terminal on your Mac and write the following command. This of course is my login with my IP, so you have to use your own, and you can find the IP by in your Raspberry type the command IP space A. You can do this of course from your Raspberry, but also from your Mac terminal. Select System Options, select Boot and Auto Login, and if you have an older system like me, select Console Auto Login. Reboot your Raspberry Pi, select OK and done. On your Mac, open your default browser, Safari is fine, and go to the IP address that was assigned to your Raspberry. Please bear in mind that your Raspberry is slow, so starting up might take a while. When connected to the OctoPrint server, you will get a setup wizard. Just follow as normal. For the access control, I use the same login as for my Raspberry Pi. It is mandatory to check the 3 links. Now name your printer profile. And we're done, so everything should work properly now. OctoPrint is working, so now we go connect to our printer. And there we have it. Here you can change some settings or add additional add-ons. Good, the camera is also working. And because we are now connected to the printer, we can control the printer from OctoPrint. How to do this on a Mac and how to work with Cura directly, we will show you in the next video. Thank you and till the next one.